Hey, what do you see that's unusual about that building right there? That is the public restroom at the boat ramp. The walkway is around on the other side. The doors are on the other side. Hey, it's got a couple of feet of water in it. You'd have a hard time using that restroom. It's at the boat ramp. Hey, it's going to make for a great story, some real surprises in store on this week's episode. Come on, Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
It's time for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Everybody enjoys a good fishing story, and I think I have one for you on this week's episode. I had this great show planned for you. We were going crappie fishing. We were going to teach you how to catch crappie out of deep brush piles. I had all my waypoints marked and everything was in order. Got up early this morning, drove 4 hours to the lake. Guess what? All the boat ramps closed, all the parks closed. A lot of damage from the flooding earlier this year had closed the lake we went to. What do you do when plan A goes awry? Hey, you go to plan B. So we drove another hour and we got the boat launched at one open boat ramp at this lake. Welcome to Lake Belton. As you can see in the background, the NITRO Z20 is already launched. Lake Belton is located down in central Texas in the hill country. It's a beautiful lake. The water is still very high. This lake's got smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, catfish, crappie, white bass, hybrid stripers in it, but I have no idea what they're doing. Don't really have any contacts. I did run into a local guide on the boat ramp. He gave me a couple of tips. So we're just gonna go out fishing blind today. This is fishing reality TV at its very best. You're going to see what happens as it happens this week. Hey, Plan B is up. And while we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your latest fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters on your local lakes, rivers, and bays. It's gonna be a lot of fun, gonna be a big challenge, and you watch it unfold as it happens. Right now, it all starts back at the FSN studios with your weekend planner.
I've got good news for weekend anglers. The Salooner tables are predicting excellent game fish activity for both days this weekend. The best times should begin in the morning at 10:35 on Saturday and 11:32 on Sunday. Look for the sun to rise at 6:55 and set at 5:27. And evenings will be bright with a full moon coming on Monday. We'll be right back with fishing reports from around the area. And I'll return with 2015 Bassmaster champion Casey Ashley for this week's Ask the Pro segment.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Excite AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. MotorGuide trolling motors, because accuracy matters. NITRO Performance fishing boats. Champions aren't born, they're made. And Fox Sports Outdoors is driven by Fort Worth Nissan and Lone Star Toyota.
Got him. All right, we've got a hookup. It's coming at me right now. Big old deep diving crankbait, and I've thrown it out on a point. Whoa, that's a good fish, whatever that is. He like to ran off with me right there. Good hybrid. Wow. Stay on there. Got it. All right. There is the first good thing that's happened so far. How about that? There we go. Nice hybrid striper right there. Well, that's what's in Lake Belton for you. Just a good solid fish. I don't know what they got to be a keeper in this lake, but that would most certainly be big enough to be one for you right there. Let's let that fish go back. Wow, still plenty of fight left in him. Hey, welcome back everybody. Well, we are on an experiment today, as you well know. Just out today looking. Didn't know what to do, didn't know where to go. And been trying several different things, and I've caught a little bit of everything. Caught a couple of smallmouth bass, caught a drum, caught a little small hybrid, and caught a couple of white bass, little small white bass. and then picked up a crankbait, and there's a big long point running out here out into deep water. What we're doing is making big long casts, pushing the button, turn the trolling motor on, spool all the line off the reel, and then start cranking it back in on a big long, you get more depth, more length on your cast and more depth on your crankbait that way, and it seemed to work really well right then. All right, Lake Belton, hadn't been here in years, don't know what the patterns are, and caught a nice hybrid striped bass on a crankbait. Time right now for fishing and lake reports for you.
Hey, as the water temperatures are finally starting to cool here in Oklahoma, the bass fishing is finally starting to heat up again. Jimmy Talbot has the proof in this beautiful 9.4 pound largemouth bass he caught on Okmulgee Lake. Jimmy tells me he was fishing the grass shallow to start with, not much happening, so he moved out farther in front of the grass, started really catching them, starting his day with his beautiful giant. Now, he was Texas rigging a biffle bug in a green pumpkin variation. In a half a day of fishing, he ended up catching about 15 bass, including several 3-pounders, along with this beautiful monster. Jimmy, thanks for that fishing report. Now look at these 2 beautiful crappie that Madeline Bond of Tulsa caught on the docks at Grand Lake. She tells me that the dock fishing has really picked up, a lot of small fish on the docks, but now finally the bigger crappie are starting to show up as well. She said her favorite color was the Bobby Garland Itty Bit Slab Slayer in black hot pink. Gary Rowe of Wagner's been bouncing around northeastern Oklahoma looking for crappie. He said pretty much finding the same thing everywhere he goes. If he can find brush piles in 20 foot of water, he can catch numbers of fish, has to weed through a lot of small fish to catch some quality keepers. Producing best for him has been the Bobby Garland Itty Bit Swimmer in electric chicken, and also the regular baby shad swimmer in key lime pie color. You can catch them deep, you can catch them shallow, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
Got him. Oh, I got one. Whoa, that's a good one. Straight down. Man, the fish just all of a sudden came up and blacked out my graph. Fishing off of a big main lake point that drops off into deep water. Now he's coming up a little bit. Basically about underneath the other side of the boat. There he is, good hybrid. Stay up, baby, stay hooked up. There he is. That's a good fish. All right. And he flopped off right in the net, which is actually a good thing because I can get him out much easier. There you go. Well, that's a good hybrid striper. It looks like today's going to be a hybrid striper day. Let me tell you something. This fish goes back. We could keep a few of these fish if we wanted to. When you're on plan, I want to show you something here. Look at this. On the left side of my LOWRANCE HDS 12 Gen 3 unit here, this is the traditional 2D sonar. And then here's the down scan view. And look, you can see all the individual fish right there. But what you need to do is just come out here and let the fish tell you how they can be caught. Lots of different species in this lake. And I just came out open-minded, let the fish tell me, and I just started driving around, watching my sonar, looking at some of these drop-offs. We did catch a few other species, caught a couple little smallmouth bass, caught some white bass, but then started seeing these big hooks like that. And that's the telltale sign that you've got hybrid stripers under the boat. Okay, hey, we've got something going, and maybe we're gonna salvage what otherwise would be disastrous fishing day because it didn't look like we were going to get to fish. Right now, here's some fishing and lake reports from your local area.
Hi folks, this week's Lone Star Lakes is brought to you by Chili Cheeks, the innovative seat cushion that not only cools, but warms as well. In our hot Texas summers, freeze the Chili Cheeks insert and you'll get a cooling, comfortable cushion for hours on end. And of course, in the wintertime, you can microwave that insert and keep you nice and toasty. Now this week we're going to start at Lake Bridgeport, northwest of the DFW Metroplex area, where they have good catfishing up in the creeks. You'll find them about halfway back, about 6 feet deep, around the timbered areas where you'll see some of the cormorants roosting. Now you'll use your prepared baits and or cut shad for your best results. And Bridgeport also has good white bass fishing right now off the main lake points about 15 feet deep, and you can look for the gulls to help you find those fish. Now on Wright Patman in northeast Texas, there is a great topwater black bass bite going on right now. 4 to 6 feet of water around any kind of submerged cover, whether it's timber or grasses. Use your Xeraspooks, Pop-Rs, buzzbaits and the like, and you'll catch plenty of largemouth bass on Wright Patman. And crappie there are hanging out around the timbered points at about 15 feet deep. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by the fine folks at Chili Cheeks. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit portaransas.org. Well, welcome to October in November. Originally forecast call for a cooler and wetter fall and early winter. As things have turned out, October was significantly warmer and drier. Now as we settle into November, late arriving cool fronts will start to make changes we normally see about a month earlier. On the upper coast, north winds will finally blow bait out of marshes and drop tides. Look for bird activity to become more reliable. On the middle coast, tides should drop out and an increase in feeding activity along shorelines will occur. Trout will feed toward mud bottoms with deeper water nearby. And redfish will be on shorelines as well as flats. From Port Mansfield to Port Isabel, this will be the last section of the coast affected by cooler weather. Topwater lures, soft plastic spoons, plus live or cut bait will get you hooked up. Look for offshore activity to increase, particularly for blackfin tuna moving closer to shore. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Another one, another one, another one. Got him. Boy, they are loaded in here. Wow, I showed you all those fish on my sonar unit back there. And now I'm able to just basically drop straight down and catch them one right after the next. That's not a big one, so I'm just gonna flip-flop him in just like that. We've got him working today. All right, hey, we've turned this into what's gonna be a really good day right here. Catching hybrid stripers and maybe a few white bass. All right, big school of them, right straight down, and so cool when this happens because literally all you have to do is just drop it right straight into the school, right below the boat, 38 feet deep, 35 feet, let it hit bottom, jig it up and down a couple of times. I like to swim it up when there's hybrid stripers in the area. A lot of times a hybrid will hit it a lot better on the swim than he will if you're just doing little short pops of the rod tip. All right, stay with us. We're coming back to Lake Belton in Central Texas, talk a little more about hybrid striper fishing, maybe teach you a little something about catching them where you live.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And LOWRANCE Electronics, find, navigate, dominate.
There's one. Right, straight down on the bottom. Good pull. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Straight down in 38 feet of water. It's a hybrid striper. Look at him pull my rod down in the water like that. Still doing it. Wow. Cross between a white bass and a striper. And a very powerful beast he is. All right, welcome back everybody. This is the Plan B action today from Lake Belton down in Central Texas. We started off going to another lake that was closed, wound up coming to the only lake we could find open within 2 hours of here, and that's Lake Belton here in Central Texas. And didn't know what we were gonna fish for, didn't know what we were gonna catch. That one hit a spoon, jigging spoon, and that's a hybrid striper. A lot of these in this lake. Ran into Bob Maindell, who runs a guide service here, and he guides here a lot, and he said they've been stocking, Texas Parks and Wildlife has been stocking these hybrid stripers heavily every year in this lake without missing a year since the 1980s. So there's a very healthy population of those fish in the lake. And the interesting thing right Right behind us is a park that's flooded. In fact, I'm fishing actually right in what used to be the swimming area back when the lake was at normal level. This lake is 25 feet high right now, and I'm actually inside the swimming area, which is fine right now since the lake's flooded, but you can see right here we've got flooded shelters, picnic tables, play areas, we've got dumpsters floating around, just a lot of stuff underwater here and catching fish right out of the middle of all this flooded park area. Time right now for some fishing and lake reports for you.
Hey friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox, Louisiana fishing report. I tell you what, the fishing has been pretty good. Now keep in mind this northeast wind that we got today, it has slowed down the fishing a whole lot. They're catching a few fish, when I say a few, 20 to 30, 35 per boat, where we used to catch at 45 or 50. As far as flounder, we got to tell you that the flounder run isn't all that good yet because we haven't had enough cold fronts. I mean, it's just that simple. We're running right now, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks behind last year. If you go around Houma, Louisiana right now, they're catching limits of speckled trout every day. Here, we catch 20, 30, maybe 40 a day. Now, as far as the redfish action is good just about each and every day. All of our boats are catching redfish if you want to go targeted redfish. As far as bass fishing goes, the entire state's pretty good. Right now, we made several phone calls this morning before I did this report. The Chaffalot Basin, they're catching them there. False River, they're catching them there. Of course, Toledo Bend, Joe Jocelyn said they're doing good there. Caddo Lake, got a report from Caddo Lake that they're catching there. Keep in mind, this is the time of the year when the bass start moving up, checking it out, getting ready for, you know, the winter time. They're coming up into that shallower water, they're checking it out, they're in there feeding. Put on a spinnerbait early in the morning, get in 3 to 5 foot of water. Throw a spinnerbait, you should pick up some pretty nice bass. I tell you what, till next week, this is Old Cajun Phil for Captain Kevin. Then happy fishing, may God bless, and we're going to see you folks next week.
Drop it to the bottom, click that reel into gear, crank it 4 or 5 times, let it go back down to the bottom. Crank it 4 or 5 times. Got him. There he is. Oh, he's stripping drag. He's stripping my drag. Oh, baby. Look at that. I've got 12-pound test strand original line on here. And some of these fish, I don't know how big the biggest one might be, but there. I got the drag set kind of light on my lures. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Look at this one. Look at this one. Easy, darling. Got him. Big one. That's a big one right there. Wow. There's a toad for you. That's a big old hybrid right there. Who'd have thought it? We have rescued a day, folks. I'm telling you, this is as real a fishing story as you can possibly get. We went from nearly having to go home and not get to fish because the lakes were closed to just hammering some big old hybrid stripers. You are such a mean dude. I'll tell you, pound for pound, a hybrid striper will outfight any fish in fresh water. And especially when you tie into a big Kong Daddy like that. Man, what a toad. All right, not keeping him today, but boy, what a big one that is. Good grief. If you want to catch a white, just give it short hops of the rod tip like that. Jig it straight up and down off the bottom and a white bass will hit it. But if you reel it 2 or 3 times, push the button, let it go back to the bottom, hit the bottom again, reel up again, push the button, let it go back down. They want it swimming. They don't want it jigged, they want it swimming. And you can catch a hybrid or oh, missed him again. Boy, they are hammering it every time.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday at 5:30, or catch the repeat airing Saturday morning at 8. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. And see lots of our how-to and product videos by selecting the How-To button. Join our online fishing community. Just click the like button on our Facebook page for access to daily posts with lots of fishing news, videos, and frequent giveaways. And stay up to date with all the latest fishing information and photos by following our Twitter feed. Fox Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Lose, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And Strand Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro segment, where viewers get questions answered by top anglers. This week's request comes from Reggie, who asks, how do you decide on a soft plastic color? For the answer, we found 2015 Bassmaster Classic champion, Casey Ashley.
My outlook on picking colors of soft plastics is keep it simple. There's only about 4 colors you're gonna find in my boat. Green pumpkin, number 1, it works everywhere. June bug, red bug, and watermelon candy. I can take those 4 colors and go anywhere in the country and catch them. The only thing that depends on those 2, you know, June bug, red bug, darker water, green pumpkin, watermelon candy, clear water. That's it. Keep it basic.
Thank you, Casey. If you have something to ask one of the pros, simply visit us online at foxsportsoutdoors.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now it's time to give away a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Here's this week's winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest. He is Wes Piper of Irving, Texas, showing a 10-pound largemouth bass he caught at Joe Pool Lake in Texas. And here are some bonus Joe Pool Lake fish. These aren't winners, but great fish nonetheless. Bentley Rogers with an 8.15, Wayne Simpson with an 8.7, Tracy Bullard with an 8-pounder, Stephen Coldwell with a 7.5, and Nicholas Blanco with a 13-inch crappie. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Costa Catch of the Week box on the right side of the home page. You must be 18 years of age to submit a photo or to be a winner. And if you'd like to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, go back to the front page of our website, click on the Costa logo. It will take you to all of their fantastic products, including the 580 polycarbonate and glass lenses and all the great frame styles, including the frame style that I was wearing on this week's episode. This one is called Brine. Next up on the Academy Right Stuff, I caught most of those hybrid stripers today on various sizes, shapes, and styles of jigging spoons. They're heavy spoons that sink to the bottom very quickly. Academy carries a wide variety of those. But more importantly, I want to tell you, if you're hybrid striper fishing, you need to get a good net and use it. No game fish that swims in fresh water will drive a hook deeply into your hand like a hybrid striper will. He's the best fighter on the end of your line, and he's still the best fighter once you get him in the boat. Get a net, use it, and be very careful handling hybrid striped bass. I have a saying that I try very hard to live by. It goes something like this: let the plumbers plumb. No one can be an expert at everything. Let those who are trained to do a certain job do that job. It applies not only to plumbers and roofers and auto mechanics, but it applies to life choices as well. Sometimes we just get stuck. We don't know what the best choice is. We get paralyzed. We don't know what to do. It could be a choice in your marriage or raising your kids or in your job or a financial decision. There is never any shame from seeking help from a trained professional. It could be someone like a psychologist or a psychiatrist, a counselor of some kind. It could be someone at your church. It could be a mentor or just someone you trust very much. Sometimes the best and most heroic choice of all is to seek help. Hey, fishing tried to throw us a lemon today, but we made lemonade out of it. We turned what could have been a very disappointing day into an amazing and fantastic one, catching big hybrid striped bass right here at Lake Belton. I hope you'll take some of the tips and principles that we talked about on this episode and use them the next time a fishing trip doesn't go exactly like you planned. Until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.